Hi. It's gonna be part 13 of Blox, which alright. Part 13. Put my camera up here, so yeah. Let's go! Part 13! Ow! Second T, let's go! Ah! Let's go, bro. Ah, it's nice being here, bro. Wait, I can roll fruit now! Oh, what's up, bro? So I don't waste all my energy. Wait a second. Yo, I am on stage 2 on the thingy. Yeah. Here we go. Slash fried chicken. Look 1, 2, 3. Slash fried chicken. Look 1, 2, 3. And then let's roll. Oh! I wanted Buddha. It's good, we can store this. Who offer portal? Because I don't know if y'all, because I was like trading people offline and I forgot to record, and someone traded a portal for my I don't know, and I also ate a magma fruit too. I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot what I traded for that, but yeah. Wait, what? 5 out of 5 trades? 5 out of 5 trades. The TikTok.
I just lifted the folder over my head, under the light shining through. I accidentally discovered a hidden secret in the paper. This was core classified data of the entire space agency. I originally planned to pretend I...
Bro, right, 5 out of 5 trades blocks. Also a little bit of flags. It's a grind, bro. You gotta grind, like, we're gonna do a lot of runs today, alright? Hello everyone! Today is going to be part 12 of Blox. Buddy. Come on, you little fried chickens. down, bro. Yes, I want to be stage 38. Stage 3. Stage 3 is gonna be like the legs. And then stage... It's gonna be like onto the knee. And stage 4 is gonna be for the full legs. And then the stage 5 is gonna be the head. So we're gonna do the arms. Oh, 815 500.
Cholesterol bomb is a myth. You you are looking at a nutrient powerhouse. By the end of this video, you will have a complete roadmap of exactly what happens to your body, your brain, and your chemistry if you commit to eating 5 eggs every single day for 30 days. We are going to break this down week by week, stripping away the myths and looking at the biological reality of this superfood. But before we start the clock on day 1, we have to address the dangerous game you play at the grocery store. Because if you get this part wrong, you're not going to see the results. The transformation depends entirely on fuel quality. Ignore free range and cage free. Those are marketing scams for dirty, crowded warehouses. You need pasture raised. These birds live outside, creating nutrient-dense orange yolks full of vitamin D and omega-3s that factory eggs simply don't have. Don't let factory farms fool you with dyed feed. You can't fake the chemistry. Now that you have the right eggs, let's break down what happens to your body in the first 7 days. The first thing you will notice, likely... I did. Three or four is silence. The mental noise of hunger, the 3 p.m. crash, and the craving for sugar begins to vanish. This happens because you are flooding your system with the most bioavailable nutrition on the planet. Most people are unknowingly starving. You eat plenty of calories, but your cells are nutrient depleted. You are overfed and undernourished. When you eat cereal or a bagel, your blood sugar spikes. Insulin rushes in to store it, and then your blood sugar crashes, triggering a stress hormone release that screams at you to eat again. 5 eggs provide roughly 350 calories, but they are the most functional 350 calories you can consume. You are getting a complete profile of B2, B12, B5, selenium, and iodine. But the magic in week 1 comes from the fat protein matrix. The 25 grams of fat and 30 grams of protein in this daily protocol trigger the release of satiety hormones like peptide YY. This tells your brain, we are safe, we have resources. You stop looking for snacks. Your insulin levels begin to stabilize because there is almost zero glycemic impact from the eggs. This drop in insulin allows your body to finally unlock its own fat stores. You might not see a huge weight drop on the scale in week 1, but you will feel lighter, and your energy production will shift from a roller coaster to a steady, flat line. This is the induction phase, where your body remembers how to run on clean fuel. By the second week, the focus shifts from your stomach to your brain. Leave the now, leave the moment. This is where the heavy lifting of a nutrient called choline comes into play.
Oh, there.
Eggs are the premier source of choline in the human diet, and most people are drastically deficient in it. Choline is the raw material your body uses to build acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is the neurotransmitter responsible for focus, memory retention, and the ability to switch tasks. It is the chemical that allows you to learn. If you have ever walked into a room and forgot why you were there, or read a paragraph 3
Let's
times
go, Dragon
without
Talon.
absorbing it, you are likely experiencing a deficit in acetylcholine. Eating 5 eggs gives you around 600 to 700 milligrams of choline. You are essentially greasing the gears of your cognition. People report the brain fog lifting. Complex tasks become easier. But it goes deeper than just focus. The DH... Found in pasture-raised eggs, begins to integrate into your cell membranes. Your brain is 60% fat. It requires high-quality omega-3s to maintain the structural integrity of neurons. The DHA from eggs is more bioavailable than almost any plant source. By week 2, you are physically reinforcing the insulation around your neural wires. This can manifest as a calmer mood, less anxiety, and sharper reflexes. You aren't just feeding the brain energy, you are repairing the hardware. Simultaneously, you are protecting your vision. The deep orange color of the yolk comes from lutein and zeaxanthin. These are potent antioxidants that accumulate in the retina. We live in a world of blue light screens, which cause oxidative stress in the eye. These nutrients act as internal sunglasses, filtering out damage and protecting against degeneration.
I like to start my mornings with a little stretch. After, I pick out my fit. And I can't forget my morning matcha. Yum. Now, off I go. Your favorite golden chair just got leave the new golden water chair. Provides soothing for everyday outdoor use. Loading with a built-in cooler that pulls up your workouts. And storage to keep your essentials from sweating. Everything you need all in one chair. US home.
So by day 14, you are thinking faster and seeing clearer. By week 3, we need to talk about the 30 grams of protein you are getting and why it is superior to a protein shake. Not all protein is created equal. We measure protein quality by how much of it can actually be converted into human tissue. This is called net nitrogen utilization. If you eat a scoop of whey protein, you might only utilize 17% to 20% of it for actual tissue building. The rest is burned as expensive fuel. Soy protein is even lower, but whole eggs, the utilization rate is nearly 48% to 50%. It is the gold standard. Think of it like building a house. You can buy a pile of cheap, warped lumber, low-quality protein. You might have to throw away 80% of the wood because it doesn't fit, so you burn it for heat. Or you can buy premium, pre-cut lumber that fits perfectly.
Ideas move. Details matter. Every creation comes to life, and every effort feels worth it. When the work is done, the moment is yours.
Egg protein. With eggs, you throw away very little. Almost half of every gram goes directly into repairing your muscles, your organs, and your bones. This is crucial for aging, as sarcopenia, or muscle loss, is a primary driver of frailty. This is why the egg white trend is such a tragedy. The egg white is mostly water and albumin. When you separate the white from the yolk, the biological value plummets. You need the nutrients in the yolk to properly utilize the protein in the white. Furthermore, pure protein without fat spikes insulin. By eating the whole egg, the fat buffers the insulin response, keeping you in an anabolic muscle-building state without the fat storage signal. By week 3, if you have been exercising, you will notice faster recovery. If you have been trying to lose weight, you will notice that you are losing fat, but keeping your muscle. position. We have to pause here because by week 4,
Wait.
your friends and family will tell you that you are going to have a heart attack. They will say, "That's too much cholesterol." This is the most persistent lie in nutrition history. We have been told to keep dietary cholesterol under 300 milligrams. 5 eggs contain nearly 1,000 milligrams. According to the old textbooks, your arteries should be clogging up as we speak. Here is the reality. Your liver produces 1,000 to 3,000 milligrams of cholesterol every single day. It makes it because you cannot survive without it. Cholesterol is a healing agent. It is the bandwidth your body uses to repair cells. If you eat less cholesterol, your liver senses the deficit and ramps up production to compensate. If you eat more cholesterol, building your brain is just it's entering into the lives we protect. This is Master a free CPD learning session for professionals to master resilient, sustainable solutions.
Bruh.
Your liver takes a vacation and produces less. The system is self-regulating. The fear of cholesterol comes from confusing the firefighter with the fire. When you have inflammation in your arteries, the fire, the body sends cholesterol, the firefighter, to patch the damage. Blaming cholesterol for heart disease is like blaming the firefighter for the fire just because they are always at the scene. In fact, the cholesterol you get from eggs is the precursor to the most vital hormones in your body. This leads us to the hormonal shift. Cholesterol is the mother molecule. It is the raw material from which your body manufactures testosterone, estrogen, cortisol, and progesterone.
Look.
If you have been feeling low drive, fatigue, or poor recovery, it is often a supply chain issue. You simply didn't have enough building blocks to create the hormones you needed.
When it comes to all-round thermometers, there's always one that fits needs and lifestyle. The DH839S has rapid 1 fever alarm for the MC46.
With the steady supply of healthy fats and cholesterol from the eggs, your body can finally optimize hormone production. Men often report increased libido and strength. Women often see a regulation in their cycle and improved mood
Bro,
stability.
what do I even do, bro? Like,
But what about LDL, the bad cholesterol? Here's the nuance. LDL comes in 2 sizes: small, dense particles, dangerous, and large, fluffy particles, harmless. Saturated fat and cholesterol from healthy sources like eggs tend to shift your LDL profile from the small, dangerous type to the large, safe type. So even if your total number goes up, your risk profile goes down. There is a hidden benefit here that specifically helps about 40% of the population. There is a common genetic variant called MTHFR.
If you're from Rodriguez, Rizal, malamang nakalaan ka na dito. Medyo nito, and wellness spot pala. We're located along the highway, tapat ng RCBC Bank, Seaboy, Caltex, and beside that.
It sounds like a swear word, but MTHFR stands for methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase. If you have this mutation, your body struggles to convert homocysteine, a toxic byproduct of metabolism, into methionine, which is good. When homocysteine builds up, it inflames your arteries and increases heart risks. It is a far better predictor of trouble than cholesterol. To fix this, your body needs B vitamins in their methylated form. Pasture-raised eggs are a powerhouse of naturally occurring folate,
music.
Detox teas. Your actual
Jalen, you've been going
detox
crazy.
by eating your breakfast. You're providing the materials to bypass your genetic glitch. You can undo all of these benefits in seconds if you cook the eggs wrong. The nutrients in the yolk, specifically the cholesterol and the antioxidants, are sensitive to heat and oxygen. If you blast your eggs on high heat until the yolk turns gray and chalky, you have oxidized the cholesterol. Oxidized cholesterol is inflammatory. You have also destroyed a significant portion of the vitamins. The goal is to keep the yolk intact, or at least creamy. Soft boiled is perfect. Poached is excellent. Over easy is great. If you like scrambled eggs, do not make them like the rubbery yellow sponges you see at hotel buffets. Here's the secret to the perfect medicinal scramble. Use low heat. Melt a tablespoon of grass-fed butter. Crack the eggs in. Stir them gently. And continuously. As soon as the curds start to form, but the mixture is still wet and glossy, take them off the heat immediately. The residual heat will finish cooking them. You want them custard, creamy, and rich. This preserves the fat structure and ensures you absorb the maximum amount of nutrition. So, what happens after 30 days? You have reset your palate. You have lowered your baseline insulin. You have flooded your brain with the precursors for focus and memory. You have provided your hormonal system with the raw materials to function at an optimal level. You haven't just eaten food, you have provided information to your DNA. You have told your body to build, repair, and thrive. This isn't a temporary diet. This is a return to the way humans were designed to eat. If you found this breakdown helpful and want to master your health, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a life-saving video. Let me know in the comments, are you team soft-boiled or team scrambled? I'll see you in the next one.
Cook, cook.
If you commit to eating 5 eggs every single day for the next 30 days, your body is going to undergo a biological shift that most people spend years trying to achieve with supplements and medication. You are about to ingest 35 eggs a week, 150 eggs a month. To the average person, and probably your doctor, this sounds like a cholesterol bomb waiting to detonate in your arteries. And before you worry about your heart, let's look at the data a study of 500,000 people published in the BMJ found that daily egg eaters actually
How
had
did I
a
get
lower
that?
risk of dying from heart attacks than those who avoided them. The cholesterol bomb is a myth. You are looking at a nutrient powerhouse.
How did I get that?
By the end of this video, you will have a complete roadmap of exactly what happens to your body, your brain, and your blood chemistry if you commit to eating 5 eggs every
needles to create micro-injuries in your skin. Don't worry, it's safe and controlled. These little boosts trigger your body to produce more collagen, helping to smooth out uneven texture.
Day for 30 days. We are going to break this down week by week, stripping away the myths and looking at the biological reality of this superfood. But before we start the clock on day 1, we have to address the dangerous game you play at the grocery store. Because if you get this part wrong, you're not going to see the results. The transformation depends entirely on fuel quality. Ignore free range and cage free. Those are marketing scams for dirty, crowded warehouses. You need pasture raised.
Granola.
These live outside, creating nutrient-dense orange yolks full of vitamin D and omega-3s that factory eggs simply don't have. Don't let factory farms fool you with dyed feed. You can't fake the chemistry. Now that you have the right eggs, let's break down what happens to your body in the first 7 days. The first thing you will notice, likely by day 3 or 4, is silence. The mental noise of hunger, the 3 p.m. crash, and the craving for sugar begins to vanish. This happens because you are flooding your system with the most bioavailable nutrition on the planet.
Tinatanggal ko
Most
to eh.
people are unknowingly starving. You eat plenty of calories, but your cells are nutrient depleted. You are overfed and undernourished. When you eat cereal or a bagel, your blood sugar spikes. Insulin rushes in to store it, and then your blood sugar crashes, triggering a stress hormone release that screams at you to eat again. 5 eggs provide roughly 350 calories, but they are the most functional 350 calories you can consume. You are getting a complete profile of B2, B12, B5, selenium, and iodine.
My Muna.
But the magic in week 1 comes from the fat protein
no.
matrix. The 25 grams of fat and 30 grams of protein in this daily protocol trigger the release of satiety hormones like peptide YY. This tells your brain, we are safe, we have resources. You stop looking for snacks.
Okay.
Your insulin levels begin to stabilize because there is almost zero
Aray mo!
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
These are the acupuncture points of the cervical spine. Each point targets specific conditions, from stiffness to dizziness. This guide illustrates the connections in traditional Chinese medicine. These are the acupuncture points of the cervical spine. Each point targets specific conditions, from stiffness to dizziness. This guide illustrates the connections in traditional Chinese medicine. These are the acupuncture points of the cervical.
What did you steal?
Secrets. Every time you
Wait,
sit
wait.
down to eat, your dog appears silent, patient, watching your form with those eyes that make you feel like the worst person alive. And you've always thought they just want your food. They don't. The real reason is something you've never considered. And by the end of this video, number 1 will change the way you feel about every meal you share with them. This isn't about hunger. It isn't about being spoiled. It's about 7 very specific things happening in your dog's mind right now. Things most owners will never figure out. Let's start with number 7. Number 7. Here's what most owners don't know about this. Gambling isn't being greedy. They're running a program that's tens of thousands of years old. When they stare at your fork, part of their brain
It's a commitment, son.
campfire.
It's a
The
relationship.
scrap falls. And here's the detail most people miss. Watch what they do with their
Dad
body.
hates you.
A dog begging for food from pure hunger will move around. They'll shift their weight, lick their lips, maybe.
Go click OK. Let's go, I'm in now.
Runs it. And I'm more than
Any pa na, that's not any. That's the first game.
50.
If we give people insulin, they gain weight. If we take insulin away, type 1s who stop doing it, you lose weight. That's called diabetes. If you don't understand what insulin is, you'll never understand how hormones control your body. It's not calorie in, calorie out, it's hormone control. From ghrelin to leptin to human growth hormone to insulin. Stop listening to the influencers that say you to eat less and more. That doesn't even make sense. You're not an engine. If my top up runs out of gas, I'm done. If my body runs out of carbs, etc. Switch fuel sources. So, in my bio, you will find out how to switch fuel sources easier, stop the food poisoners related way, and save your own life. DM me in my bio.
Come back.
If we give people insulin, they gain weight.
Well,
We take insulin away, type 1s who stop doing it, you lose weight. That's called diabetes. If you don't understand what insulin is, you'll never understand how.
Most men spend their lives never understanding a rare, reverse secret. A secret that once you know, you'll understand how to enter their mind and how to make them wait for your next message, your next meal. Imagine this, you and your friend, the girl you're about to talk to. The question is, what will you say? What will you talk about? How will the conversation flow smoothly without any breaks? The first mistake most men make is overthinking. They keep thinking what to say, how to say it, which time to choose, and in that thinking, their real energy dies. So before going into details, I want you to change your perspective. Reset your internal mindset. Because when you talk to a girl, remember, she
Hindi na muna po kay Rachel.
just a human. Don't
Yeah.
put her on a pedestal just because she's beautiful. You've heard this many times.
This vibration how
It's
she
time
is.
to
is activated by certain behaviors. If you learn these behaviors, attraction triggers.
Ay, napatayin nyo.
Now imagine her subconscious like a radar. The moment you talk, it lights up and scans you to decide if you are the right man. This radar is separate from your conscious mind. If that radar wants you, your logical brain cannot say no. That's why many women keep going back to the same man who likes them, cheats on them. Their logical brain keeps saying, you're making a mistake, but the radar, the instinct, keeps pulling them back. Because her logic is disconnected, and her heart is tied to emotions. So next time you talk to a girl, remember this. You're not talking to her logic, you're talking to her energy. Don't listen to her words, feel her frequency. If you touch her emotion, she'll never forget you or the feeling. Remember this. Every girl carries one biological purpose. Finding the right man society doesn't teach you this, but it is biological truth. She may become a NASA scientist or a CEO, but her natural radar is always searching for the right man. And she doesn't choose him consciously. Her radar chooses. It knows him and selects him. So when you talk to a girl, remember her radar is scanning your every word, gesture, and expression. It tries to understand whether you are and it decides that not by your words, but by your behavior, body language, and energy level. If your behavior shows you see yourself above, the radar instantly marks you as the right man. She gets pulled towards you. Yes, it may sound strange, complicated, but by the end you'll understand everything. You'll know how to enter a girl's mind without her realizing it. So what should you do? What should you say so her radar understands your mood? Let's start with the most misunderstood thing. Body language. You say keep your head up, don't keep hands in pockets, keep your back straight. Forget all that. It's noise. Body language has only 3 rules. 3 dark secrets. Never lean toward a girl while talking. Most men do this. They lean forward, knowingly send the signal, I'm very interested, and her radar instantly lowers your value. Instead, lean back slightly, sit relaxed as if she's talking and you're just listening without trying to impress. That is real power. 2. Whenever she says something you don't like I'm not interested, just smile and calmly say, yeah, I know, I'm not your type. You're a nice girl though. And slowly walk away. In that moment, she'll either stop you or say something to make you stay. Because beautiful women are made to be chased, not to chase. When you walk away, she sees for the first time a man who was willing to leave her, and that drives her crazy. Rule 3. Comfort. A comfortable man always shows higher value. Think when you sit next to a high-status person, like a minister or a celebrity, your body becomes stiff, nervous. But when you sit beside your old friend, you relax, laugh, spread your legs. That is power posture. That is dominance. When you sit in front of a girl like that, relaxed, carefree, as if her thoughts don't matter, that's when she thinks this man is different. So from now on, don't lean in, don't chase. Always stay comfortable. Your body tells your story, and the radar reads it without words. Now listen carefully. Forget how to sit, how to move your hands, how to look. If your mind wants to put your hands in your pocket, do it. If you want to fold your legs, do it. is a magnetic pull because she feels you see yourself above her. Now, body language is on. Let's talk about the game. Conversation. How to speak and turn back on. There's an internal formula. In every conversation, 50% should be about her, 30% about environment or random things, 20% about you. Why more about her and less about you? Because the one who talks about himself more is the one seeking approval. They want a job everywhere you need the job. So you talk about yourself. It lies with the interviewer. Similarly, when you
Opegon.
value drops.
Me mocha.
Listen. Talk more about her, less about yourself. Now the first part, talk about her. What she likes, dislikes, her childhood, her dreams, how she sees her life, what she thinks her strengths and weaknesses are. When you let her open up, she subconsciously starts trusting you. That's the hypnotic part. 30% is about environment or random things. Now the formula here.
Opegon.
Silly jokes, weird thoughts. It's all fine. The important thing is being effortless. Don't think what to say or how to look serious. Just flow. Conversation flows without logic. Even drama creates attraction. Because attraction doesn't happen in control. It happens if disagreement happens. Don't argue. Don't try to convince her. You don't need her agreement. You need
I died.
if you keep trying to please her, she'll subconsciously sense your approval, seeking in your imagination. Talk about yourself. Never show.
Bakbak. Mansagandan.
Don't list achievements or adventures. A powerful man doesn't talk about his strength. He lets people feel it. The man whose silence changes the room is the real magnet. So stay relaxed. Speak less. Never seek approval.
Oh wait, I already have the quest.
Peace with yourself. Women will want to be around you without knowing why. Here's golden advice whenever you talk about yourself. Make fun of yourself. Don't fear looking a little crazy, weird, or stupid. When you can laugh at yourself, no one can bring you down. A girl then feels this man isn't here to impress me. He is already complete in himself. Now comes the most dangerous weapon. Mystery. Being mysterious doesn't mean lying or hiding everything. It means staying slightly incomplete so she becomes curious to know. Most guys answer this question fully. She asks, "Where do you work?" He replies confidently. Suspense. No power to
Opegon.
if she asks, "Where do you work?" say with a small smile, "Hold on there, sweetie kid. We just started talking and you were already interviewing me." She'll laugh, but
I'm a blink Amber.
why is he like this? What's different about him? If she asks, "What are you doing Friday night?" say, "Something exciting, but it's a secret." If she asks, smile and say, "You still don't know enough. I don't share private things." If she asks your name, say, "First guess. If you get it right, I'll bring you a candy." That's life, mystery, that's charm, and that's control. You wrap the conversation around her curiosity. She wants to know you, and you don't let her. That's attraction psychology. But there's still a danger, a test. Every woman tests subconsciously. She'll say things that trigger your ego, tease you, mock you, just to see if you're real or acting confident. Next episode, we'll talk about the art of passing your tests. How to make a test into power. Reacting. Slow smile. as any game is the one who writes the rules. If you enjoyed the video,
Big update on the Bonnie Willis case. She was found guilty in court today and ordered to pay a massive fine directly to President Trump. She started screaming, smashing, and fighting back against the officers before they finally escorted her out of the courtroom. I put the full video of her in the first comment. She was escorted into the courtroom and completely melted down the moment the verdict was announced. Her reaction was totally crazy and out of control. Big update on the Bonnie Willis case. She was found guilty in court today and ordered. Most people like to believe that they determine what they like and don't like, when in reality it's just conditioned into them trends in society. The greatest minds in human history separated themselves from this one distinct skill, and it is the skill of taste. Taste can best be described as an intuitive discernment about what actually has substance and will be good and appreciated in the future. There are modern day examples of this, like said, no one in the audience liked it, and those songs were not become multi-platinum. But the concept of this value recognition until years later, sometimes even after her death, is really nothing new. I think of a Vincent Van Gogh maybe a Nietzsche.
did you know that with this mixture, you can protect and waterproof your exterior walls? Pay close attention. In a bucket, you're going to add these liters of water, 5 kilograms.
What the flip?
Okay, check up tayo ng Daikin Aircon. So ayan, hindi daw ito lumalamig. Basic troubleshooting muna tayo
There's this one that's okay.
tayo rito. Mag-flip pa rin. Punta tayo sa outdoor unit kung gagana ba tayo. Gumana saglit din, nag-shutdown din ulit. Mga 5 seconds lang. Tapos dito sa indoor unit ay naka-on pa rin. Hindi rin nag-flip ang indicator light. So sa ganitong trouble, paklasin na natin yung outdoor PCB. Dito ay si CJ rin ang paklas ng outdoor PCB. Ito na yung outdoor PCB and naka-plug in na rin yung aking panghina. Manipis at try na yung thermal silicone paste. Then i-check na natin itong outdoor PCB. And ayun, confirm sila itong outdoor PCB. Meron tayong papalitan dito ng PS. Dito ay natanggal ko na yung lumang capacitor. Siyempre, testirin muna natin yung bagong capacitor na ikakabit natin sa outdoor PCB. So yan, okay naman yung balik. Dito nga tapos ko nung hinang yung
Watching this. This verse will change your today. Read this slowly. If you need this verse, shares this in the video. This verse will change your
Yo, the picture's here. Oh hell no.
Until the second half, though, she was like, just get here, you're gonna find out.
How are they fighting in here? This is a safe zone.
Get to the spot. So there, right here.
What is
Let's change.
We are reaching the factory in 30 seconds.
it's like 9:30. We get up at 9 o'clock, right?
What else?
Walking outside, as soon as we walk outside, bro, it's a block party everywhere. It's a block party everywhere. The cars couldn't drive because, like, the bars would have TVs and the TVs were outside the clubs, and everybody is outside standing watching the game or watching the game. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And I was like, guys, like, that's true. What you're talking about, like, we're not going to try to spot to the second half because the second half about to start. Halftime about to start. I gotta find somewhere now because I ain't talking. I ain't 6'5". I mean, I can't look over all these people. I want to watch the game. Walking for like 20 minutes and can't find nowhere to actually like watch the game. We're like, there's people everywhere we can't see them. And the tallest person in our room is like 6'4". I mean, it's only one I can see over here. There's people, right? Like, we can't really see the game. The last team is over here. In the Lower East Side, right? We can't see nothing, right? So, where Ash was like, hey, yo, trying to go to Madison Square Park to watch the game. I see like they have the game on the big screen TV. I was over there. And me, Les, and Max was like, yeah, let's go over there. Let's go. It's like an hour. It's like an hour walk. We almost be able to do that. We want to walk in the door. So people actually know the door was there too. We'll take the subway. Subway's going to be cool.
Pegang. Yes. Sekarang.
Fireman's crawl to the top of the rafters, jump off, roll. I'm pretty sure that's what I was around this. God, I didn't know Cuban women, Puerto Rican women, beautiful. I'm a little bit of a clip right now. I'm trying to stay away from distractions. I was distracted. It was dancing on me, you feel me? Ashley Ryan, homegirl Jack, they all dancing, you feel me? It was just fucking crazy. Crazy. I even crawled up to the top of the rappers. Now I'm on the top of the rappers with these three white women I just met. It's crazy, right? It was like, you know what? Let's go to MSG. We gotta smoke weed before. Let's go, right? The whole nigga, I was with it, Max was with it, Jack was with it, everybody was with it. Raya, she said if we go, the city will be on the go. Raya, we don't want to hear nothing you're saying. We get on the subways, right? It takes us about 40 minutes. But we want 35 minutes to get to MSG on the subway, because the subway was packed to the brim. We get to MSG, we get to the airport. We got to
You know what we'll go on Sucks.
like it wasn't real. There's no way it was real.
Asan dyan na kuan mo?
Come on. Let's do it. Tell her to join me downstairs. Tell her to join me downstairs.
It's so much going on. Right? Rather than my shirt, since I told you the same with me. And was.
Iniwan na naman niya. Oh. Sige, kakain na.
Ayos tayo? Oo, order.
Baga. Okay, let's go. Can I roll fruit now? 40 minutes, alright. Let's go grind. Grind.
Alright, so I wasn't sure I was going to share this because my goal on here is to never strike fear. My goal on here is to bring communities together and start conversation. But I feel like it's time that I share this story. It's not a story, it's coming from the source and facts. But one of my very dear friends who I've kind of talked about on here before, who has shared some very important things that I've shared with all of you. He's a scientist. I shouldn't have said he, but yes, he's a scientist. He works with seismic activity. He works with a lot of different things that are in the science industry. I don't have to go in because I don't really want to tell too much about it. But he reached out to me about 2 weeks ago. He was like, hey, my team and I have been tracking some seismic activity, and I think you should talk to your TikTok followers about this. So I didn't think I was going to do it because, you know, I don't want to strike fear, and that's not my purpose. But now, what I'm about to tell you is showing up on the news, like CNN, and also news reports out of London, and Australia, and all over the entire world, that in the coming months, there's predicted a mile-wide volcano
Do you like the name Jesse?
that is expected to go off in the next coming months. Now, when he reached out to me, they have predicted it's going to be on June 5th. And this volcano that is potentially about to erupt will trigger over 10,000 earthquakes all over the entire globe in one day. Now, I don't know what else to do with this information, but he was very adamant that perhaps I should share this information with the people who follow me. Now, I don't know if you've seen the news reports. I saw on CNN, and the crazy thing is that it was just a scrolling bar at the bottom, not even a main story. And I don't understand why 10,000 earthquakes happening in one day and a mile-wide volcano going off in the ocean.
Only have one
is
gun.
not ridiculous. So, let me know. Alright, so I wasn't sure I was going to share this because my goal on here is to never strike.
I'm fishing.
For years they laughed. For years they doubted.
What is this?
Every long season, Knicks fans stay loyal. Yesterday wasn't about one player. It wasn't about one coach. It wasn't about one game. Yesterday belonged to the fans. The fans who stayed when nobody else did. New York Flint is your moment. This is your trophy. This is your championship. And the rest of the league has been born. We are just getting started. For years they laughed. Welcome to the official disclosure date.
What was that?
And with tears in her eyes, she hugged me and said, "Because of you, his tremors completely went away." I was in my early 20s, I was in college. I chose to study ethnobotany, which is the science of how people use plants for various things: structures, tools, food, medicine. And at that time, I also worked in the vitamin department of a health food store. So on a daily basis, I was always giving recommendations to people based on what I was trained on, but occasionally based off of what I was researching on my own. One day, a woman came in. Her dad had Parkinson's. He was in a wheelchair. He had the tremors. They were getting worse and worse. And she mentioned that they were at the point where they would just try anything. So I had just read a paper about Parkinson's. So I told her I found this study which had success giving coconut oil to Parkinson's patients because the fats in coconut oil were the fats that were depleted in brains of Parkinson's patients. I said she could give it a try, and we chose an unrefined raw coconut oil, so all of that
A bug. A bug.
Start small, increase it every day, and eat it morning and night. If you don't
A
like
bug,
the texture,
a boat.
just throw it in some yogurt. After that, I sent her on her way, and I thought I'd never see her again. But 2 months later, she comes into my department looking for me. And with tears in her eyes, she hugged me and said, "Because of you, his tremors completely went away." That was 14 years ago. That moment is still one of the biggest highlights of my life, because for me, that moment was the moment that I stopped knowing that food was medicine, and I believed that food is medicine. So if you're tired of being told to just manage your symptoms,
What are you gonna do to piercing clothesline?
want to know how food is medicine, that is what I teach.
Mo pego! I die.
administration is taking us back to the American system. We saw a beautiful discussion of that when Scott Bessent spoke at the Reagan Economic Forum, a very powerful indictment of the principles of British imperialism. The indictment of economic independence, and we're going back to the kinds of industrial policies, terror policies, credit policies, which are going to
Bagong.
productive power of this country. And Besson used a phrase very much channeling Alexander Hamilton's concept of the nation is the productive power of labor. Pay attention to the excess agency. Pay attention to Marco Rubio's
Why no sea beats?
testimony. Pay attention to Besant and Peter Navarro. These people are all stressing the fact that industrial policy, economic strength, is the foundation of everything that we do, whether it's defense policy, whether it's foreign policy. You have to be economically sovereign with industry, agriculture, technology, all the things that a sovereign nation needs to have. This is what they are hysterical about. You have not had a single administration in at least, I would say, 100 years, if not going back to 100. The entire 20th century has been shaped by the British imperial system trying to eat this out of existence forever. And honestly, they thought they'd done it. But Donald Trump has come along and said, no, we haven't. We're back. This policy is back. This is the foundation of everything that we're doing. And the only basis upon which we are ever going to defeat empire once and forever. If any of you watch these here,
What the hell was that? Mobegon. 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 Ah, la, 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 la. Mobegon. Gundam.
acquire all of the key players on this team, a couple of good draft picks in the second round, and you look at them. That's getting your 10,000 hours, making the second round, getting heartbreak, making the conference finals. It's a beautiful construction. About sticking their neck out, every single day, and then he's your finals MVP, 45 points, 15 points.
Oh my gosh.
Outscored the Spurs over the final 8 minutes and 20 seconds of the game. What is your perspective on his performance in these finals and really this postseason when he has well, this is an all-time closeout. I've never done it. Some Michael Jordan-esque performance. That's not an exaggeration. He's had proving that ankle over in that first half and getting on that Victor Wembanyama play. And let me just say that he's the captain. Not only is he their emotional leader, their physical leader, he's their spiritual leader, and he built this roster too because he left over $100 million on his contract to help fill out this team and keep it strong. An absolutely iconic This team never tanked, okay? They never got lucky in the lottery. The highest draft pick this front office ever faced was 25 in the first round. The genius of sticking their neck out on Jalen Brunson, and then a series of shrewd trades to acquire all of the key players.
Roar, roar.
Clove oil can be a helpful friend or a quiet problem. The difference comes down to just a few rules that only a minority of people know. And by the end of this video, you'll be part of that minority. But first, I need to tell you something. Most people make this one mistake while they're completely convinced they're doing something good for themselves. And that very mistake sends hundreds of people to emergency rooms every single year. It feels harmless in the moment. Most people don't even realize they've made it. I'll tell you exactly what it is in just a few minutes. So stay with me, because it might be the most important thing you hear today. Here's the strange thing. An enormous number of people have a small amount of clove oil somewhere in the house. It was passed down from a grandmother, or recommended for a toothache, or someone online said a few drops boost the immune system, and almost none of those people truly understand what they're holding. They think it's gentle. They think that because it comes from a kitchen spice, from something you'd sprinkle into a holiday ham, or a mug of malt cider, it must be safe to use freely. But let me tell you, it can actually go wrong, because this is where people are surprised. Some have ended up with chemical burns inside their mouth from damming and straying onto a sore gum. Others triggered stomach pain and nausea after swallowing a small amount. A few wound up in the emergency room, and some spent weeks with mysterious headaches, never guessing the cause was sitting right on their shelf. These aren't rare horror stories. They happen quietly to ordinary people who believe the very same thing, that it was just a harmless little spice oil. In the next few minutes, you'll learn what this oil actually does inside the body, who needs to be especially careful, the exact mistake that sends people to the emergency room, and the small handful of ways it can be remarkably useful when you treat it with respect. So, before you reach for that bottle again, watch this all the way through. So let's start with what clove oil actually is, because this is where the confusion begins. Clove oil is distilled from the dried flower buds of the clove tree. Those little dark buds on your spice shelf are the raw material. But here's the lead most people miss. The spice and the oil are not the same thing. The way a grape and a glass of strong liquor are not the same thing. When you cook with cloves, you're using only a trace of the active ingredient. When you open a bottle of the oil, that same ingredient is concentrated dozens, sometimes hundreds of times over. One
single drop can carry the active force of a small handful of whole cloves. That power comes mostly from a compound called eugenol. You don't need to memorize the name. Here's all that matters. Eugenol is what numbs a sore tooth, what fights certain germs, what calms inflammation, and it's also what can burn the soft tissue in your mouth and what your liver has to work hard to break down. The same thing that helps you is the same thing that can hurt you. That's the whole story of clove oil in one sentence. So it isn't dangerous because it's weak and overhyped. It's dangerous precisely because it's strong and it actually works. Now let me tell you about the mistake I promised you at the start, because very often it begins with a tooth. Let me tell you, who did everything she thought was right. Her tooth was aching late one evening, and she remembered reading that clove oil helps. So she tipped a little strain onto her finger and pressed it against the tooth and the gum around it. For a minute, it felt like a small miracle. The pain dulled, she could breathe. So she did it again the next night and the next. Within a week,
Gonna give a bomb for
painful
my
tissue.
peg on.
Worse than the toothache she started with. She'd been treating a strong
My
medicine
peg
was
on.
little.
My
That's the mistake.
peg on.
Using
Peg
clove
on.
oil undiluted straight onto the gum. Or worse, swallowing it. Because undiluted clove oil pressed against soft tissue chemically irritates and burns it. And swallowing it, which happens so easily when it's in your mouth, opens a far more serious door. And that's the part I need you to pay close attention to next. Clove oil can quietly interfere with the medications you take every day. And that's most
My peg on. My peg on.
I want to ask you for a quick favor. 99% of you watching right now are still not subscribed. If you're enjoying this video,
Hi, Dad.
please take a second to subscribe and leave a like. It's a small action, but it helps this channel keep creating and providing videos. Thank you. Now let's continue. So no one talks about this. The eugenol in clove oil is broken down by the liver through the very same pathways your body uses to handle many common medications. Heart drugs, blood sugar medicines, painkillers. When you regularly add extreme concentrated oil to the process, it can make a medication more powerfully than intended, weaken it, and you won't feel either one right away. And this is exactly where most people think, well, I only use a tiny bit. Here's the problem. The trouble almost always begins with those tiny bits, because nobody drinks the bottle of green gold. Let me give you a real picture of how this sneaks up. He started using clove oil every night in his diffuser because he knew it was good for him. Soon, he had headaches and nagging most evenings. He blamed his age. He blamed the weather. He blamed his sleep. It went on for weeks. It was only when he ran out of oil and didn't refill it that the headaches faded and the connection finally clicked. That's the real trap. People take a little at a time. Every day, prevention, or a unit, or an aching joint, and leave their goals out quietly until something feels off and almost no one connects it to the small round problem. So if you take any medication regularly, and at our age, that's the rule rather than the exception. Treat daily clove oil not as a harmless habit, but as something worth mentioning to your doctor. One sentence at your next appointment could spare you a mystery that drags on for months. Now let's step away from the frightening side and talk about who specifically should be careful, because many of them have no idea. First, blood thinning. Clove's active compound can slow your blood's ability to clot. In ordinary cooking, this doesn't matter. But if you take blood thinning medication and at this age, many people take something for the heart, concentrated clove oil can push that effect further than you need.
natin ang things ka. Anong price naman?
That's fine. That's the. Namatay na ba yung kakampi ko? Hindi. Yo, did my kakampi die?
Jalen Brunson is the lock in. Basically, since he learned how to keep it on his little suit jacket, Rosa boys and a roller bag to tell his mom I'm going to behave and he'd be away for his pretend plane ride to New Jersey, put on an arm bath, and start shooting at various plastic baskets around the house. He wanted to be just like his dad, a former NBA player himself, so his dad trained him accordingly. He'd make him do everything over and over, and it was perfect, no matter how tired Jalen was. I'd heckle him and leave him at the gym without a ride home if he didn't perform to expectations. He'd make him run up hills and wait at vests and train when any other teenager would have been hanging out with friends. I rolled my eyes, gave him attitude. Jalen remembers about his early responses to his dad. He constantly told me, if you don't want this, let me know and I'll stop. But I never said stop. I always wanted it. When he had to write essays for school about his role model, he always wrote about his dad. And over time, he gave him composure, so much so that it annoyed his little sister, who wanted to get a reaction out of him, so she'd add solid sugar to his peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, hoping to provoke him. She couldn't. She'd run into his room in the middle of the night, grab his covers, and run around the house with them, trying to
You're
get
gonna wait till baby
outside,
time.
taunting him about some family.
Mama, sarap ng flashlight na sa vibration.
That would have enraged any other player. But again, Jalen stayed steady. By the time he got to Nova, his coach said he never had a silence. I've never seen a kid who can mentally break down adults. Having a stoic, nasty one that was terrible. So he didn't rely on himself. He also kept working, never going on vacation or taking any breaks. His dad would even drive like 30 miles to Villanova to train more after team practices. Or on days he technically had a break would wake him up from naps, banging on his door in the kitchen. Little off of it saying nobody cares as much as he cares. No one pushes me as much as he pushes, even if it's hard. I know it's the best thing for me. Basketball was so central to Jalen's life. He even proposed to his high school sweetheart on their high school basketball court. And now that they have a little girl together, he's excited to train her to be left-handed, just like his dad trained him. He's hoping she'll love the sport just as much as he does. Someday, maybe he and his dad will get to coach her side by side. All the Time Sports for more of the stories behind your favorite athletes and NBA champions.
Last night, the Spurs are handily favored 5.5 points in game of 5 in San Antonio.
Did she die? She's gone. She left, gang. Bro. Aray, pasikan. Hold the flood. I died.
For nearly 2 hours now, a ship tracking firm reports 121 making its way to the United States of America. 68 of those 121 vessels are very large crude carriers capable of carrying 2 million barrels apiece. President Trump has
Gonna get chicken.
Iran's disruption of the Strait of Hormuz to turn to
Just give me the magma, bro. It's not that hard. Mama, ano na lang? Lemon chicken sa tangbar.
Paella.
Sige, sige.
Saan bibili pa yan?
Alpha.
Ang paano ko mabibili ito?
Favorite mo. Calios.
Ayun nga pang... Eh, siya, saka... Saka...
Mapaligong!
Ha?
Kasama.
Pipick up ka? Baba ka?
Ikaw.
Ha?
Walang delivering alpas.
Pinipinak ko lang show ako. Sarap happy na ako.
Hindi, shock na lang.
Excited to si Top Bulb.
Oo nga.
Gusto ko paella na lang, ma.
Shock nga, pwede rin shock.
Bro, I don't like it there.
Chicken doon.
Hindi naman buffalo eh.
Kailangan iba-iba yung chicken, no?
Mama, paella na lang. Maganda na yun eh. Ayoko ng shock-shock.
Wala na yun eh. Gusto na eh.
Ano ba yan? Right back. What the flick is that? 이동 바닥 이동 이동 바닥 이동. 뭐라 fruit. Try the apocalypse.
This would like Justin Gaethje, major donations chose everything in this with the exception of the
He is one of the most unusual fighters ever witnessed in training. When Justin Gaethje says that I throws himself into the fire, it's so different than everybody else. It's just so unusual. The conviction to do damage on opponents, regardless. But I'm going to win. I'm going to beat his very intent. That finds much more success. And that is what I think he has. I let the highest level fighter in the game. And this legend.
You know, Joe, you said he's your favorite fighter's favorite. It's absolutely true. And then when you talk his contemporary, then Justin Gaethje, he is about as violent a guy. His boxing is improved to a point that he can live with just about everybody. The fight so much. Justin recognizes the upset. An American fighter is this sitting as an underdog, becoming a UFC world champion.
60 UFC appearance. The headliner this week is fifth title fight for West Fighters. See how he chooses.
How good is this film? A small night. When you look at this man, there is no challenge that would be too much. There was anyone around to beat, right?
This guy has an intro to talk so loud as well. Justin Gaethje has a I know one director and commanding officer of the President's United States last 9 months or so, and they have just absolutely nailed it. They got rid tonight. Recipient Sergeant Major Thomas Pat Payne, a New York City first responder on this fighter, and today, the UFC lightweight champion and first defense of his lightweight title against
Pretty special.
and there's the aforementioned
Special talent, man. That is a Jai Herbert moment. But even in that fight, he just was here in Jacksonville and watching him beat different ways. I was like, wow, this kid is going to be a world champion. And he is that good. And he comes through here. He made the best pre-fight run in the history of the UFC. Without Justin Gaethje's hand in the him. If he can do what he said, not consider Elliot the great number one fighter.
It's an everyday greatest three-fight run in the history of sport. Not great run, victories, straight. That could be the greatest level we've ever seen in the history of this sport.
and often these averages on the highest level of the sport. This dude calls a shot and backs it all up.
Yeah, you had a celebration dinner last night, which was the newest true record. Yeah, it's a true haunting generation, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Elliot the Rich defending that belt in such amazing ways. And I'm sorry it's used. That's crazy.
You know, we're all very excited to see what happens tonight.
And MMA aspirations because his brother's so darn good. Crypto.com, leading cryptocurrency platform celebrating.
The one
An
sees.
excellent lot of numbers. Championship. Here we go, your championship telling 7. 29, Gaethje has the pitch. And we got
on, go. Oh, that was a fun.
Thank you, Chrissy. Ready to go. Calm and collected evidence for 3 days.
No.
Outstanding, sir.
Oh, nice leg kick. That's another one for you.
Just listen to me after Gagey and your plan.
Case
His hands up, his punches.
nice uppercut.
You can just see like that, so precise. There's a clean right hand. But yeah, they don't beat you again.
Really? So many leg kicks. He doesn't do that anymore.
Got it. Clean right here.
He's so fat.
Pretty odd.
And it's an uppercut.
Hands to the body. Continue. Right hand partially lands for Gagey.
And there.
Yeah, but Gagey is solid.
The distance, Justin grabs his leg and then throws an uppercut up the middle.
Gagey goes plus 350 or so. Which opening round so far for this challenge?
But as you,
Right hand, his left hook on right side.
Elliot just rolled.
Fair training.
He's so difficult at it.
Crazy. Gagey comes high. Gagey 39 to 37 and Elliot landed at 86. Alright, here we go. Wow.
Gage started to stand a little bit in front of you too much. Elliot's shorter than him, so when he hits it, Gage just kind of puts his
Now Elliot's fainting before he moves in to try to lure out.
That's for conversations happening inside and outside the octagon. Take edge.
that feet has changed already. Look at it, he got a reach out.
Gets landed that change.
His investment in body just jab, terribly used. That's a huge right for Gagey. Gagey fires back into the
There it is. He's digging that body shot. He's looking at him. He's trying to him.
finish it. 10 and a critical 60 seconds. This is so surreal.
Then he's a lot more free to back him up. This is good for King Chicken Spence alive. But Alien did look a little powerful back to the end of that. Landing inside first round 70 in the second. It's crazy.
We got that round bad, but it's not all that bad for him because we've never seen a Dream Warrior hit him. He does have some corners and it's not been anticipated.
Alien is winning.
Great reach, and it has been 25 minutes in the end.
That's the difference, right? He's taking damage. He's been hit.
But he really drained himself trying to finish. And he looks bloodshot.
Hit like 6. When you start getting around 3, 4,
He wrestled a lot in MMA because he's worried about
Yo, cookie cook. Oh my days, bro. I got the shadow fruit. I got the blick boot.
That is why Ram trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Continue now with round. Here's exactly a full measurement on the surface.
Went down struggling his gas out of cardio.
Exactly. He wasn't the one to
You see that? Still, he's gonna keep us
decided another corner right hand.
He's not seeing you.
They can fight that.
In every situation.
They're talking to each other.
My drum.
Streets.
made of smoke. Literally. The frick?
they were like, we just don't let him catch the ball by just swarming him and fronting him. And I think there's, as the league has shifted towards, I've talked about this on the show, everyone talks about hand checking, like, oh, well, hand checking changed in 2003. And it's like, actually, if you look throughout NBA history, there's between more physical, back and forth, but we're clearly heading into one of those more physical eras. And what it's done is it's made it so that, we just got these dudes. And what's interesting with the guards, you're going to be
Bruh.
Comics, and Ian Chappelle, and Seinfeld, and Ricky Gervais, and you can hear, and it's like the last 50 years, is that Brunson's entire career, and this is fair, it's not a shot on it, nobody's picking on New York, he doesn't pop. He doesn't look physically like Ant. He's not a dynamic athlete. He is your classic. You've had friends like this. I always say there's friends you can invite to Vegas, and there's friends you can vacation with, and then there's couples you can't vacation with, but they're great for dinner. You take them to cash on the restaurant, big margarita, it's a great night. You're not spending 6 days at Lake Havasu with them, it's just too much. Brunson is the classic.
Your
Intelligence, a lot of it is just, dad's a coach. But I thought that the finals were symbolic because then everything's kind of hard. He's really good when you need it. There's some ugly shots. He step on Castle Train's inefficiency. But greatest Nick ever. He's the greatest Nick leader ever. Greatest Nick. What does that mean? But I looked at his series and I thought, it's I don't feel bad saying. I think he's a very good player. I said it earlier. He's a very, very good all-star player. I don't think he's Ant. But there are things that Brunson has that Ant doesn't. There are parts to his game, and I think overall, every team has a soul. It's not who's the best player. I just think he sort of embodies what's really fun about the Knicks, what makes them a rare, likable team. Today's show is brought to you by our friends and our presenting sponsor, Florida Sportsbook. The world's biggest soccer tournament is here. Everybody, see the ratings. Everybody's watching. National pride on the line. Superstars chasing it. mortality. And for the next month, every match feels like a fight. If you haven't tried Hard Rock Bet yet, this is the time. Hard Rock Bet is a top-rated sportsbook app, the best, built to feel like home. Whether you're back in your country, betting on your favorite superstar, building a same-game parlay, one of the biggest matches of the tournament, Hard Rock Bet is your way to get in on the action. And if you're ever late to kick off, don't worry. Hard Rock Bet lets you live bet all match long. First minute, final whistle. Plus, Hard Rock Bet is a promo name. We're talking profit boosts. No sweat bets. Bonus bets. Be sure to check out No Rules, No Trouble and Super Show. Two programs designed to give your bets insurance all tournament long. So sign up for Hard Rock Bet today. Place a $5 if it wins, you lose $250 in bonus bets. Winning bet plus an extra $150 to bet. Win.
Happy Sunday. Season video. Teams. We use this. We've got transactions. Certainly free agency has started Sunday. Sunday.
Mopegong. Mopega. Pasikarn. 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 Pasikarns.
Jordan Clarkson, looking at stuff that's more current accounts, extension potential here. But we are going to do the final last time on the despise the things this series we had wrong, of course.
Bagong.
And I will say this, like, continuing on the
Good.
3 days after I got let go, there was a box of clothes here from my friends at the New York Knicks because I didn't have any local shirts and things here. So, in the summer of 2015, you grabbed a pretty much jersey, something like just this paraphernalia and everything like that. Well, congratulations to the New York Knicks. It is a great story. It is a great story on how, you know, every roster is different, how you want to build it. Certainly when I tweeted out Dan Rose's comments from 2020 when I got hired right when COVID hit, kind of getting the lay of the land as far as what his thoughts were with the New York Knicks into the time that had made the playoffs since 2013. And yes, every roster can be built differently. There's no manual as far as how you go out.
Oh, there's a mask.
In the Knicks' case, they went out and traded for their roster, their starters, with 4 of the 5 players, and then, of course, the Jalen Brunson signing. I heard that was just to reflect that I was driving, and Montem said,
Baka. Pasikarn. Pasikarn.
I remember during that season when Jalen was in Dallas, and I said it publicly, and got reprimanded by and I said what happened in Dallas is that nobody is talking about this. I know that touches the nerve of certain officials. Basically, they didn't put a team option in before, and basically allowed him to go to New York for nothing. And basically, they changed the CBA and added the second round pick exception in case like that. A player like this statue would never become a free agent again because it's restricted. And Brunson has done for that organization. Besides, is one of the greatest things that this generation of young my age have seen.
The factory is breaking in 30 seconds. Wait, is there even a live stream on YouTube? That's
So, it's a great story. Congratulations to New York Knicks. Brunson, the trade for RJ Barrett, but I remember it was a top scheme.
on YouTube.
What happened? The yes. Registry, which
Blox fruit. There is. There is.
Sometimes the sun feels a little too friendly. But with Food Panda, a world of flavor awaits you. Make life delicious.
Panda? Manual brushes can leave up to 50% of plaque behind, which can lead to cavities. Oral-B IO Electric's round brush head hugs each tooth to clean even your back molars to remove up to 100% more plaque. Switch to Oral-B IO Electric with Oral-B Paste. Say goodbye to cavities.
If you're building an application that has AI functionality inside of it, it's really important to understand how those agents are behaving. Did it call the right?
Caught by surprise by you. Want you to make my heart feel as much as I know.
I became a trash can, and people kept dropping me fruits, like Mr. Beast, and this noob right here. But after a few hours of grinding, fruits. Do you guys want to be a trash can?
Staying still, eyes closed, let the world just pass me by. Pain pills, eyes closed, if I fall, I think I'll fly.
Anything I say or do seems to be all wrong. Yazoo, 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 yazoo. Wop, 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 wop.